Hi guys, I teach students how to prepare for the IELTS speaking test. I've made lots of videos to help students, so I'm putting them in a series here on YouTube so you can see examples of how to answer the questions on the IELTS speaking test. Please remember that the topics can change, but the categories do not. The general categories are about travel, family, where you're from, where you have been, where you'd like to go, and so on. So if you remember those general categories and study these videos, you'll have examples of the most important thing on the IELTS speaking test, which is to tell a story. Tell a story about yourself that shows your enthusiasm for the subject, or a memory that's special for you, or your opinion. Those kind of stories are very interesting for the IELTS examiner. The IELTS examiners can do hundreds of different IELTS interviews during a year. They have to listen to many people tell stories poorly because they don't put any life in the story from their own life, or haven't thought about these general categories of subjects. So please let me help you by subscribing to these videos, and you can learn how to be successful on the IELTS speaking test. I've also written a book for my students. You can see the link below, and the book can help you. It has over 150 different examples. The next part of this video will be an example of an IELTS speaking test question that's been on a recent test. Prepare well and tell a great story. The question about old things in my family reminds me of things that were made by my great-grandfather and grandfather together. My great-grandfather was a master carpenter, and he knew how to make different types of cabinets. My grandfather was an expert in radios. Back in the old days, you could buy a radio and assemble it yourself. And my great-grandfather would make these beautiful cabinets out of woods like mahogany or birch or maple, and each wood has a distinctive grain or look to it. He would make these beautiful cabinets. They'd be as much as a meter high and a meter wide, or 2 meters. And my grandfather would assemble the radios and put them inside the cabinet. So the cabinet was a place where you could put things on top of it as well as listen to the radio. And they were so beautifully made that people would buy them and put them in their living room or wherever they listened to the radio. This was a good business for them back in the early 1900s and 1920s, 1930s, when radio was very popular before television came along. And we kept this furniture in our family forever. It was a kind of symbol of my great-grandfather's craftsmanship with wood. That's how he made his living, and the cleverness of my grandfather with radios. They combined their expertise to make these highly functional and beautiful pieces of furniture. That's something that we've always had in my family, and something I think we'll always have. Keeping these type of family mementos gives us a connection to our history and a connection to our family past. In our family, we're very proud of this type of innovation and artistry that my great-grandfather and grandfather on my dad's side knew how to do. So those kind of things, along with photographs, are important for families to keep a memory of the people that came before them.